You know what I mean? As far as figuring out life, figuring out, what is your purpose and things of that sort. So absolutely. But yeah, so we are going to get started real quick. Do you have any questions by chance? Okay, well, anytime that you do have any questions, as I'm teaching, sorry for the background noise too, but as I'm teaching, you can simply just raise your hand. I'll call on you. You can chime in with anything that I'm speaking about. Otherwise, if you have any questions, I would love to answer any of them. But first things first, I do want to say, I want to salute to the people who's watching. Of course, Shalom, Yahweh, Shemal, Shah, Barakatham to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Allah, Shemal, Shah to the sisters, all right? ISK, Minnesota. By the way, my bad, I didn't get a chance to introduce who I am. I'm Precinct Officer 5000, Maccabia. Yeah, Maccabia. Yep. And then, I'm sorry, what's your name again, brother? Say again? Maccabia. Oh, what's on Christ? I like that. Yeah, okay. What's on Christ? Yeah. Not too far different. So yeah, most high Christ. That's what's up. So really today, this is a Brotherhood class, and usually we speak about just current events as far as what's going on in everyday life. As we all know, there's always something going on when it comes to our people. Whether we're talking about, so-called Blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians. There's always, we are the main topic of discussion every single solitary day. Which it's crazy because, you would think with all the other things going on in the world that the focus would be somewhere else, but it always comes back to us some way, somehow. Right now, once again, the Latinos and, Hispanics are being deported left and right. And there also have been some other tribes of people who are not technically Hispanic who have been deported by mistake. And of course, we're still dealing with all the turmoil in other countries that involve our people, like Haiti. Haiti is still going through hell. I've got a brother who's actually over Haiti right now, who lives in New York. His name is Officer Yatazar, and he was born and raised there. And they have overthrown the government. So imagine that. So imagine. Okay, so there are gangs in Haiti who have completely overthrown the government, and also too, I'm not sure if you known about a year or two ago, the president of Haiti was assassinated. Was unalive. And then also too, there's some speculations that his wife, plays a part in that as well to make that happen. So it's definitely a lot of shit going on. And then of course, a lot of Black and Hispanic people, or mainly Black right now in America, are being still shot down. That has never changed. It just probably ain't getting so much media attention how it used to. And then the next next month or so, we have the anniversary of George Floyd, which is going to be a disaster again, because every year there's always, white people who are not satisfied with how he was just murdered by, what's his name, Derek Chauvin. Right. The other one who had the knee on his neck. That's not enough for white people. They still are upset that he has a whole community to back him up in Minnesota, especially with the South Minneapolis, what is called the George Floyd Square or something like that. So I say all that to say that, we have a lot of work to do in the ISUPK. That's why we are here. Once again, we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group out here. And the reason why we say that is because if no one has noticed, with all the stuff that's coming out with other groups, that should explain why. Yeah, as of recently, you have a group by the name of Sakari, who was just exposed. Their leader was just exposed for allowing his wife to play what's behind, with a pagan kid. Have you heard about that?
No, I heard about that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's terrible. Yeah, terrible. I don't understand how you can call yourself a man of the Lord and you got your wife doing, just sodomizing you. You are not a man at all. She's the man. All right, but I'll leave that shit alone. I'll leave that alone. But once again, if anybody has any questions or concerns, you can type it into the chat. So are you sure you don't have no questions about anything or just any input? I'm all ears. I mean, as you know, we are not the Christian church. So we answer, any questions, all questions. We definitely advocate. But if you don't have nothing right now, we can always get back to it a little later.
No, if you got a lesson, you can go to it. But...
Yeah. Not a problem at all, brother. So one scripture I really want to go into, I'm gonna get to in a second. So for today's topic, I'm going to speak about a lot of things. The main thing that I really want to get into is, once again, brotherhood. Brotherhood is always a great, topic, and sisterhood as well, because every single day I see situations and scenarios that can be fixed if only we had compassion for each other, if only we knew how to deal with one another if there was ever an issue. And the great thing about the Bible is that it has the answers to everything that you can think of. And that might be, that might sound crazy to some people. And I say this to people all the time on the streets. I tell my family, I tell, people I used to grow with at school or, in the neighborhood, that the Bible can literally fix every problem that you have in your life. You name the problem, I'll show you the solution. And it's that simple. And that's something that I've learned myself. I'm a person who likes to question any and everything. The moment that I sense or smell that something is off, I question it. And every time that I've questioned something to the men that are in the ISUPK, they've never failed to show me the solution or answer to it. You know what I mean? Now, I have even asked questions to the pastor, to the deacon, to the so-called priest of the church. You know what I mean? Give me 1 second. All right, 1 second, y'all. She got the boots on again, huh? Oh yeah, you got to look for that. Yeah, so as I was saying was, I even, question, that so-called priest of the church, that deacon, that pastor. And what I find is just hypocrisy. As soon as you try to ask the question, they try to dance around your question all the time, every single time. And there's a pattern. There's a structure on how the church has to be ran. Have y'all noticed that, tithes is supposed to be 10%, but they go around with the collection plate more than once. So you're not paying 10%, you're paying more than that. Some churches actually says that it is a requirement to have 30%, tithes, which is not in the Bible. You know what I mean? I mean, last time I checked, in the scriptures, it says to try every man's spirit. And that's what you must do. And you have to see if they are of God or not. It's so easy to listen to somebody who says the words God, who can pick up a book and read, Psalms, Proverbs, 2 Samuel. It's very easy to say that, but at the end of the day, you have to see if this person is really who they say they are. It's so easy to fool man. It's very easy. It's so easy to put on a costume, a facade, but the Lord does expose and show everything. And once again, I say all that to say, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we prove all things like the scripture says. And one thing that we are going to prove is that brotherhood is absolutely a weapon. And also, too, what does it mean to be a brother? Because this is an army. This is not a group, a social club. This is not something that you joined for a small time. This is life or death. And if you do not realize that today, sooner or later you will. Now, we do have a 90-day program where, you come in, you sit in these seats and you study and you're being taught these scriptures. And of course, as you continue, after those 90 days, you have a Hebrew name to become an official member in the school. And when you receive that name as a man, you know, you become a trooper, from a trooper, officer, captain, general. You know, we have ranking system. And as you learn and study, you will see for yourself if this is for you or not. And it's a 90-day probation period. That's it. You were a Muslim, you was a Christian, you was a Jehovah Witness, you are all these things. But 90 days should not hurt you to figure out if this is truly for you or not, because this is not for everybody. I'm letting you know right now. With my small time of being around, I seen people come and go. I see it all the time. 1 minute, you know, one day you are, you know, having good food, good drink, good conversation. You're traveling with this brother or this sister, and then the next day they are completely off the face of the earth. They are gone, nowhere to be found. It's standing like no trace of them. Once again, this is not for everybody. This is not for the weak, and I pray you understand. Now, coming into the ISUPK and learning how to properly serve the Lord, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy path. And what do I mean by that? Let me see. Actually, let's get let me see, where is that? Ecclesiasticus. I believe it's in Apocrypha. Damn, what is that? Yeah. Let me see. Y'all give me one moment. I believe I have it. Prepare thy soul, I believe it is. Yeah, here we go. It should be in the Apocrypha. Yeah. So can somebody get Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1? Also, too, we do got some Bibles around if anybody need it. So phones is cool. We got the Apocrypha. We got the 1611, and we have a standard King James Version Bible as well. You got it? If you could loud and clear, Bob Bashar.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right. So once again, I did mention earlier, right? It's not going to be as easy as you think when it comes to serve the Lord. Now, a common mistake is this. In a Christian church, they give you an illusion. They give you this dream and idea that, you know, it's very easy and simple to serve the Lord, that you don't have to sacrifice anything. That's a damn lie. When you serve the Lord, you are going to go through pain and suffering. That's why the Bible says to endure to the end. Endure what? What exactly are you enduring? You are enduring losing your family, losing your wives, you know, your sisters, losing your children, losing your husband, and your family. You are going to lose a lot. Now, if you try to save your life, as far as you coming out of the world of being a drug dealer, being a whoremonger, being someone who's into smoking, someone who's part of the LGBT community, right? Whatever that old life that you live that is not acceptable to the Lord, and you're trying to serve the Lord, you are going to have to let that go. That's a sacrifice. It's not easy to put down the weed once you picked it up. It's not easy. Any drug for that matter. It's not easy to leave all those whores alone. You know what I mean? Because in the world, you are that nigga. All the bitches love you, right? They love you. They all on you. But once again, when it comes to the Lord, you are going to have to sacrifice and get rid of that old self, that old you. And that's how it is. So can you read that one more time, and I'm gonna break this down.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right. So my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, now this is a warning. Prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay. Now, once again, you are still going to have those temptations when you serve the Lord. And it reminded me of Paul, when Paul had prayed to the Lord to take away the urge of sin. Now, did it speak about the actual sin that Paul was dealing with? No. But you can apply that to any and everything that you're battling. Because everybody has demons. And our job is to fight against the demons. And those demons will go away for a time, but they will come back to visit you. They will always come back to say, hey, are you back? Like do you need me to be around? Because demons are there to fill a void. All right. Once again, you may have lost that good ass job that was paying you, 4 or 5 figures, 6 figures. Now you are depressed. You lost your family. You lost your children. Now you got to have something to fill a void, and that might be drug addiction, alcoholism. I mean, there are so many vices in this world that will just have you down bad, so to speak, right? So once again, prepare thy soul for temptation, because it's going to come. Now with temptation, though, the Most High does make a escape for you. And I do want to speak about that a little bit more. Let me see here. And I do want to segue that as well with something else on the topic of brotherhood. Can you get 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13? The water. Now I was going to say, brother, I mean, you can take down these notes as well, if you'll like. Because once again, I mean, these scriptures will come up, all right? Like, based on the situations that happened in your life, you may want to go back to those scriptures just for comfort and understanding and wisdom on how to handle what is going on at that time. You got it? All right, you got to go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Right, so there have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. So what is that first part speaking about? So what is the common thing that everybody goes through? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this is saying like nothing that every temptation that you will go through, another man has.
Yeah. Personal. Right, yeah. So once again, like nobody's special over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like one thing I can't stand is when I hear a man say out of his mouth, man, nobody understands what I'm going through, man. Like, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. I mean, am I supposed to cry with you? I'm not gonna cry with you. I'm not gonna hold your hand, brother. Like, I love you to death. And because I love you so much, I'm going to give you the ultimate brotherhood and tough love that you need. You have to stop wallowing in your sorrows and stop crying and man the hell up. Because this is not going to be the last time that you're going to go through something. Also, too, I mean, I believe the Most High says that He chastises those that He loves. You know what I mean? And that's what a good parent is. A good and great parent does not allow anything to slide. A parent loves to, test and see what their child is made of. All right. Now, also, too, the Most High said that we are, what's that one precept? A man is paraphrase. A man is like precious fine gold. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Now I mix it up with I think 2 scriptures. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. There we go. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Now, how do you make something? Okay, go to something that is, once again, it's precious. It's something that's valuable. But how does it get there? It starts off with something first before it becomes precious. It's ugly. It's not. It has no value. But it has to go through. It has to, like diamonds, right? You know how they say diamond in the rough. Diamonds start off as coals, right? Am I correct? Is that diamonds or rubies? It's diamonds. It's diamonds, right? So diamonds, in order for that diamond to be what it is, it has to. I mean, it starts off with it being, a coal, a piece of dirt. You know what I mean? Nothing. It's ugly. It has no value. It has nothing to it. But it goes through a process. And when it goes through that process, it becomes something great. And that's the same thing with a person. In order to be great, to be valuable, to have, morality about yourself, you are going to have to go through something. You are going to have to go through a process of change. You know what I mean? Like anything that has changed, it has a process to it. Like for example, before a butterfly becomes that, it's a caterpillar. You know what I mean? Like same thing with just anything, man. You know, a plant, in order for it to grow and go through the stages of it to bloom and be that great flower, it has stages. And that's what people are as well. We have to go through the fire, like that diamond goes through, in order to become that precious and valuable thing. And if you don't have that, then you are useless.
Yeah.
And that's that. I just gotta keep it real. You are useless. So read that part one more time, please.
Mm-hmm. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful.
Right. Keep going.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Right. Now, you know what? Being in the world, right? Being in the world, I used to hear Christians say certain things, and I wasn't sure if it was in the Bible or not. But I used to hear Christians always say that, God won't give you too much that you can't handle. Now, I guess out of their filthy, disgusting, lying mouths, they said something right, and that's very true. But the Most High is not going to give you something to the point where you can't handle it. So, for example, what does that mean, right? The things that you deal with today in your everyday life, the things that you suffer, the things that plague you, that drug addiction, alcoholism, lust, envy, hatred that you may have that you deal with. That is for you to overcome. The Most High gives battles to, like the battles that the Most High gives people, He wants to see how you are going to overcome that battle. Once again, He wants to see what you are made of. All right? If it's going to make you or break you. And also, too, go ahead.
I just have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
About the 1 Corinthians we were reading. Could you use the story of Job as like a precept for this? Because
absolutely,
Satan had to ask God to do what He did to Job.
Absolutely, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So what the brother is talking about, right? Job, the first chapter. Job was a brother who lost his family and his wife because he chose the Most High over everything. And once again, it's such a beautiful story, but at the same time, though, too, it shows you how at the end of everything, he came out on top. It may seem like in Job's case that he just lost completely everything and that he stayed with the Most High. Now most people would have did what his wife did, which was say, you should curse God and forget about him. And that's why she's not here, because she said that. And so she chose something else over God. And because of that, she's not here. Now, of course, the Most High blessed Job extra, double, trice of everything that he lost. At the end of the day, you have to choose the Most High once everything hits the fan. And the Most High is going to see what you are made of. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but soon. If you say that you truly love your power and that you serve him, he is going to put it to the test. It's like anything in life. If you say that you are committed to these group of people, this gang, this military, this Marines, this country, it's always going to be put to the test. This job, it's always going to be put to the test. And everyone is going to see who you are at the end. And that's life. All right? So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that out. Go ahead.
I was going to say, something that kind of helped me with that in life is just remembering that Satan is taking soldiers. He's taking orders too. He's just a soldier.
Right.
So
yeah.
My job is to make sure that I'm a better soldier than him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when he goes,
yes.
when he brings all that temptation that the Most High allows him to bring,
mm-hmm.
you go back and tell the Most High, okay, this is a real one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta try to let me go harder.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not, oh shit, I did what I wanted. It was easy.
Right. And that's why the Most High chastised Satan, because if nobody knows, right? Satan is not a fallen angel. There's no such thing as a damn fallen angel, right? That's not in the Bible. Christians have tried so many times to, claim that's in the Bible. It's not. All right. There's no. It doesn't say fallen angel whatsoever. You know what I mean? But the thing is, there are no angels that are against the Most High, and Satan is an angel, and that's very clear when you look at Job, the first chapter. It's right there in the Bible. I don't know what version of the scriptures that you are reading, but the King James Version is the only authorized book that you should be studying, right? And that's why the Most High checked Satan, was like, okay, where have you been? He says, I've been going to and fro through the earth. Okay, well, have you considered my servant Job? Out of all the people that you want to go tempt, how come you haven't, went to Job? Well, Job is, a just man. He's upright, meaning that he is perfect in obeying the Most High in righteousness. Okay? So, the Most High did what any great, father or leader would do. He challenged Satan, the angel. And Satan went back and said, okay, no sweat. So, and the Most High said, do everything to Job except for kill him. Do everything. Do whatever that you want to do to this man. Just don't kill him. Don't take his life. And I'm talking about when you go into, I think, Job, the first, second, the third chapter, that man went through hell. Most people would have rather died. The things that man had to go through. Not only did he lose his wife, and his children were unalived as well, this man was going through sores and illnesses and all types of things. Like Satan really brought that fire. Like you know how to say, when you put that belt to ass, that's what happened to this man. And reading the story, like I have to put it in my mind how it looked on like a TV screen, like just a picture, like damn, like this man really went through all that hell. Like I mean, some people would praise the Lord and ask for death instead, but he went through all of that, and he survived and won at the end, and the Most High blessed him for it because he stayed loyal to him and not to Satan. Some people are not as strong as they say they are. And the Most High is going to expose and show everyone's face, everyone's hands. All right. I want you to keep going on the Corinthians if you could, Baba Shah. Oh, so actually, okay. So just real quick, where it says, there have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. Right. So we get that part. But God is faithful, meaning the Most High doesn't. As long as you do your job, do your part. As far as listening and obeying what he says, the Most High is always there for you. He will never forsake you. But however, if you decide to disobey what he says, then hey, it is what it is. All right, keep going. But even in that, right? Even in that, there are many people who say that they serve God, but it's very clear in their actions that they don't. But the Most High still shows them mercy. Although a lot of people really should be dead. Everyone that's selling drugs, that's doing drugs, that's doing all manner of wickedness, really should be dead. Even myself and everyone in this room, right? All of us should literally be dead because of the things that we've done in the past. But the reason why we are still alive and breathing is because of the mercy of the Lord. And don't think that the Most High doesn't have his eyes on you, because he sees everything. He has messengers, which are angels. Angels see and report every single thing about everyone that is breathing. Okay? So if you acknowledge every day that you wake up, that means that you have a job to do. You have a job to live a better life, to improve, and to work on that thing that is holding you back or could potentially hold you back. Talking about them demons. All right, keep going. You got it.
But will the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye be able to bear it? That was in the 13.
I'm sorry, it's slacking. Let me see. Now, read where it says, who will not suffer.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
Like once again, the Most High, like you know how you lifting weights, right? You are lifting weights, you know what I mean? Like the Most High is not going to put too much down weights to where it's gonna break your arms. You know what I mean? He's just going to put enough to where you can handle it, where you can just get it off of you. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Now, to some people, when it comes to situations in their life that are hard, some people just give up and they allow that thing to break them. And they feel like this, you know, it's the end of the world. And when you feel like that, that's when you have to get counsel. Counsel is that thing that saves lives. And counsel is wise advice. And also, too, you want to be careful who you talk to, because not everybody has wisdom or knowledge. Now, especially, this, right? I was just talking to a brother last Saturday that came during Sabbath service. And, I literally have to tell the brother, like you have to stop being so quick to run into everybody's problems. And here's why. Because the Bible says, be not swift to mischief. If someone calls you, as an example, right? If someone calls you, like your brother or your sister, no, you good. What's up? If someone calls you like your brother or your sister, family member, and say like, hey man, these niggas just jumped me. This man put his hands on my sister, stuff like that. You can't be so quick to run over there. And why is that? Because you might put yourself in this, you might be put in a situation where you get affected. You lose your life. So for example, right? If a woman, if your mother or your female, relative calls you and you are the man in a situation and says that this nigga just put his hands on me, I'm bleeding, I gotta go to the hospital, I gotta get stitches, right? Now, in your mind, you love this person, which is very understandable, but you have to probe questions. You have to understand, you have to ask and see what happened in the situation. You can't just jump on their side and just say, okay, I'm on my way. Now you're on your way, you're upset, you're angry, you finna, try to hurt this person, possibly, right? And you lose your life in the matter. You got to see, why did he put why did he put his hands on you? Now, is it right for anybody to put their hands on each other? Absolutely not. But why did it happen? What led up to him putting his hands on you? You got to investigate. You have to be the detective, the officer, whatever the case may be, to figure out why this happened. And then you go from there. But your motive, you should not be so quick to just go over there and be the hero, because you might not be the hero in that situation. And you trying to play hero, you are going to end up in a coffin somewhere. You are going to end up making the situation and matters worse. And nothing logical or practical is going to come out of the situation whatsoever. So now someone lost their tooth, someone lost their life, someone's in prison, and now all these relationships are broken. Those children have no parents. And everything just goes to shit. So once again, you have to be careful, man. All right? You have to be very wise in what you do. Keep going on. The part where it says, but will
with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
Right. Once again, like okay. So I just gave a solution to a problem, right? Once again, like there's always a solution. There's always some type of escape out of a problem. All right. And once again, that solution is investigate and get counsel before you go anywhere to try to save the day. All right. That's what you should do. Now, if you, I'll give another example. If you are dealing with a woman, you want to know for sure if that woman is available or if she is taken. And if that woman is taken, meaning that she's talking to somebody, to any man, or she has a husband or has a boyfriend, or she just having, she's just having community ride. It's what I like to call it. Because there are women out there that say like, oh, I don't have a man. Mind you, she is jumping and humping on everything, walking in that neighborhood. So you got to be very mindful, because what can happen is a lot of times these women will be the reason why you get a bullet in your head. Okay, I like to bring up the story about the rapper. His name was I believe the rapper in Atlanta. His name was Trouble. Okay, and that brother, the reason why he lost his life is because he was dealing with another man's woman. Although the sister said that I've been broken up with this man for 3 years, but mind you, in his mind, that's still his woman. And some people, you just gotta not deal with them, all right, because of what all the baggage and all the things that they got going on. It's just not worth it. Some women, it's just not worth it, and you will find out the hard way. I really pray that you don't understand what that is like, because it can happen. So your escape is, once you start to court this woman and just start to dig into her business, and you just kind of realize, and the Most High will show you, you just realize that this is not a woman for me, that is your escape. You leave her alone and find a woman that doesn't have those problems, doesn't have those issues. All right. So again, when it says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear. All right. Whatever you are going through, the Most High will, show you an escape to where you are able to bear, that you don't have to suffer that thing that you are going through. All right. Let's move on with that. Anybody has any questions at all in the room? No? All right, no sweat. I was gonna say, if I see both of y'all next week, I would expect some questions. All right. Let's get John chapter 15, verse 13. Let me see. That's what I want. John chapter 15, verse 13.
John chapter 15, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Greater love hath no man than this.
Actually, hold on. Before you get into that, I want to say one thing, right? All right. So earlier we had spoke about brotherhood. Let me ask both of y'all real quick. What is your definition of brotherhood? And brotherhood and sisterhood, it is the same thing. It goes hand in hand, right? So what is your definition of brotherhood? And just raise your hand if anybody has it. You got to go ahead.
I guess I keep it simple, but unity.
Unity, okay. What does unity look like? What does that mean as far as, because unity just sounds, like, I like the answer, it just sounds a little vague.
Brotherhood with, I guess, an efficiency and communication.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Decision making.
That plays a lot of, so I like that. Okay.
And, to really benefit for the team of the brotherhood. So
Wait, say that one more time. That was perfect. Say that one more time.
So
no, as far as the last one, you said something about the word team. Say that one more time.
So just efficiency for the team, whether it be decision making or just making whatever for the best of the group, the benefits for the group, making sure that it's efficient.
I like that. I'll give him a hand. I like that. That was a good answer. The brother said the efficiency of the team, or better yet, making things better for the brotherhood. That is absolutely perfect. I like that answer. Did you want to add on to that? Add on to that at all?
Brotherhood can also be correction.
You said correction?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holding your brother accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with correction, you see your brother doing something.
Right.
Because anything that's detrimental to them is detrimental to you. Because like I said, we're a team. There's no only links. So there's only help each other accountable.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it.
I like it a lot, and I'll give you one. That's right. Absolutely. That's right. Absolutely right. and that's perfect to understand that because, okay, the reason why in the IHK we say brotherhood is a weapon is because, I mean, now are we saying brotherhood is a gun? We ain't saying that. I mean, weapon can be anything, any device that is that you can weaponize or use in a sense, right? Brotherhood is many things, but brotherhood definitely is a weapon. It's our warfare. All right. If you don't have brotherhood, you have nothing. There is no army. There is no compassion or empathy for one another. There is no, unity. Like I just said that there is no communication. We have nothing if we don't have brotherhood or sisterhood. What do you have? How can we build as a people if we don't have that? We are stronger when we have unity amongst each other. Now, unity in what though, right? Because a lot of people speak about that word unity. That's such a word that gets misused all the time in the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community all the time. Now, we have to be very careful because we have to be very specific about what type of unity that we have amongst each other. Because I see people who have unity in, hey, you know what? Let's sell these drugs and let's, get this money and let's put each other on. Now that's unity in the wrong thing. And that unity is going to get you in prison or in a box. And that's it. That's not unity that's really going to help us as a whole. Why, okay, after knowing about the war on drugs and how that affected us to this very day, why would you try to spin it in your own way to think that that's going to help us thrive and survive as a people when it's still killing us? It's still costing us everything. It's not bringing any value to us. You know what I mean? Now, money is a tool. The Bible says money is a defense. I mean, money is something that we need to survive, but it's not everything. What you need out of life more than anything is wisdom. Wisdom is that thing that gets you the right type of money. It gets you in doors and places that that's going to put you and your people in a better position. Wisdom is the thing that's going to keep you alive and keep you out of prison. You know what I mean? And I'm glad, also too, with these fake Israelite groups as well, they always speak about unity camps. It sounds very good, but why would I be joined to a people that, speak about how you can have unlawful sex with 12-year-olds? You got an Israelite group that says that you can, you can rape, sexual assault, and you can have sex with children. Why the hell would I want to be joined to that person? That sounds like that's a pedophile if you ask me. Goddamn. I don't want to be with, Sylvester the child molester. I don't want to be with him. I don't want to be joined to him. Absolutely the hell not. Why would you want to be joined with some man that allows this woman to dominate him in the bedroom? The scripture said that the bed is undefiled, right? But that's being defiled. All right? You should not, as a man, should not allow anyone to play with your behind. Please, come on, man. Goddamn, like what the hell are we talking about? Do I really have to teach that? All right, and the list goes on. I would never be with. I could never have a unity camp with people who say that they serve God, but they allow heathens, allow Africans, whites, Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, East Indians into the organization. All right, I just don't understand. And also, too, it's been exposed about other Israelite groups who indulge in homosexuality. I just can't be next to you because it goes against what the Most High said. Okay, it goes against every single thing that the Lord says. I can't be joined with that because then that puts a stain and a reputation on me that makes people think that this is what we are a part of. You got to be careful. All right. But anyways, so like, I can go on and on about that. But did anybody have any questions about that? No.
I was gonna ask which group, but I will let.
I mean, I can talk to you about that on the side. You know what I mean? I don't want to give, these people, these groups any shine and light. You know what I mean? I don't want to say their name out there per se. I have in the past, but I ain't trying to give them any recognition. All right. Can I get Amos chapter 3, verse 3? Robert Bashar? Yeah, Amos chapter 3, verse 3. And I seem very surprised by the things I just said, right?
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna let you.
I knew about one group, but
Oh yeah.
first thing that we talked about.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. I'm gonna let you know, brother. Like, and these are not allegations. These are not alleged. These are facts.
And I knew about the other one where they let other people into the organizations. I know about that group. I didn't know that last part.
Yeah, and trust me, it's not going to stop there. It's going to continue to come out. It always does and always will. But go ahead, you got it.
You ready?
Yeah, Amos chapter 3, verse 3.
Come on. Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they agree?
Yeah, can two walk together unless what?
Except they agree.
Except they agree. Keep on.
Come. Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey?
Actually, going back to verse 3, what is that talking about? What does that mean? Can two walk together unless they agree? Is that what it says?
Come.
What does that mean? You got it, or anybody? What does that mean when it says that in Amos? I mean, I pretty much already said it.
Yeah, there's multiple ways you can go about it, but
go ahead.
There's definitely no unity where two different mindsets, the two different goals, and other people have their own vision in the mission. So eventually, whether it be today or a few years from now, that relationship will most likely falter because, of course.
Right. I'm glad you said that. Exactly. So once again, like, can two walk together except they be agreed? And also, too, like, let me tell you something, right? Now, can a Hebrew Israelite and a Muslim come together for a certain mission on something? Absolutely. Now, of course, like, for example, you have Captain Tazariak, right, of the ISBK. He has done lectures with people who are outside of our organization. Like, he did I believe he did a lecture with a brother on the topic of child molestation. And then, it's like you can come together as far as a certain mission about certain things. But at the end of the day, one thing that we cannot agree on, and I'm gonna say this once again. I can't do business with you as far as selling, drugs and things of that sort, because that goes against the Bible. You know what I mean? So again, can two walk together except they be agreed, right? I just want to grab that real quickly. Can you grab John 15 and 13 just real fast? Because this is really where I wanted to go from the start of the class. And I want to get into another couple of books. You got it? Or
John 15, 13?
Yeah, 15 and 13.
John chapter 15, verse 13.
You got it.
Greater love hath no man than this.
Yeah, greater love hath no man than this. Keep going.
That a man lay down his life for his friends.
Right. Now, there are two key words in here. One key word is going to be love, and the other is going to be friends. Now, what is love? What is love? Anybody? But just raise your hand if you have it. What is love? And it's not a complex thing either. It's pretty simple.
I guess to be one with the Most High.
Okay. You want to make sure you raise your hand next time. Yeah. Say it one more time.
To be one with the Most High's pure vision I guess, to put
Okay.
it down simple, because our own interpretation of love, we can definitely, I mean, I went to art school, so I can see, I see idols all the time, so everybody has their own intentions, and people surround themselves with the things that they love,
Mm-hmm.
but to exist in love that is created before man's inventions, that's something that comes with, like, once again, unity, right? So
Okay.
that's my interpretation.
Okay. No sweat. All right. So I'll go with the first part that you said. You said love is damn. You just said it. Say it one more time for me. You said love is what as far as God?
Love is to exist in the Most High's, I guess not to exist, but to abide by the Most High's commandments.
I like that. Okay. I like that. You want to say something on that, or are you good? So you good? All right. No sweat. All right. So when it says, once again, where are we at? All right. So when it says, "Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." So as we know, according to the Bible, just pretty much what the brother has said, love is, the obedience of the law. And also too, when you go back into the first 5 books of Moses, it speaks about what love is. And when we go into the New Testament, it speaks about love as well. Now, everything that Christ has reiterated in the Bible has been from the men before him. Moses, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, who else am I missing? Abraham, Jacob. You know what I mean? Let me see. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go back to what Christ has said, because once again, he said the same words out of the mouth of Moses. All right. Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. Let me see. Well, first things first, let's get
Can you get that?
huh?
Can you get
Yeah, actually get Matthew 22 and 38, if you could.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 38.
Oh, actually, I was like, my bad. 37, my bad, 37.
Calm. Matthew chapter 22, verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart,
Uh-huh.
and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So, of course, someone asked Christ, pretty much in a nutshell, what is the greatest commandment, right? And thou shalt, and he responded, said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Meaning, so in everything, you have to love the Lord based on your actions. Love is an action. It's not something that you feel. Emotions do not equate love in a sense. You can feel something right now and it will change in a few seconds. All right. And as we know, emotions come and go. But as far as when it comes to love, it is an action. It's that very thing that you do that shows if you love, because hatred is an action as well. You can always say that you love somebody, but at the end of the day, their actions it has to match. You know what I mean? You can say that you hate somebody, but the action will have to match. Now, what's so good about words is that it has definitions. And when you look in the dictionary, the word love and hatred both shows that it is actions and not something that you feel. So we have to be very careful about that. Now, if you say that you love the Most High, how do you show that? You do the thing that he told us to do. Because when it comes to the Lord, you don't have options. You have orders. All right? There's nowhere in the Bible that it says, in order to love the Most High, you have to feel it in your spirit and your soul. That's Christianity. That's nowhere in the Bible. If you believe, like believing in God is an emotion to people, people in general. When that's not it. Okay, you can say that you love somebody, but your action shows different. It shows otherwise. So, so in order to love the Most High, you have to do it in everything. You got to have it in your mind, because before you do anything, it starts in here first. It starts in your spirit, which is your mind, in your heart. All right, your intentions. Okay. Keep going on that.
You want to go to 38?
38. That's right.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
Right. This is the first and great commandment. Now I'm going to explain why I'm bringing this out. Keep going.
Verse 39. And the second is like unto it.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yeah. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, please, somebody break that down to me. What does that mean? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Because we hear it all the time. But what exactly does that mean? Go ahead.
You shouldn't do things to your neighbor that you want to do to you. Especially like as men, you wouldn't want nobody talking to your woman or showing your woman. So you shouldn't do that to your brother.
I like that. Give him a hand. That's right. That's it. That's right. To love thyself as it's like I'm messing it up a little bit. Maybe I say it. Yeah. Love thy neighbor as thyself just simply means, treat everybody with fairness to the point where like don't do that thing to that brother that you wouldn't do to yourself or you wouldn't want done to you. Okay? You know what I mean? So if you wouldn't want no brother to, steal from you, don't steal from him. If you wouldn't want that man to take your woman from you, don't do it to him. All right? Like that's love. That's brotherhood. You know what I mean? Also too, like if you are upset and mad at your brother and you know that, you can possibly have an opportunity to harm him, don't do it to him because you know that you wouldn't want that happen to you. Because if that thing happened to you, you would want mercy. You would play victim and wonder, why is all of this happening to me? Why did I get robbed? Why did I get into this altercation? If you know that thing that you wouldn't want to happen to you, you shouldn't do it to anybody else. All right. Also, too, one thing I love to tell my men is, well, that I would never give you an order that I wouldn't follow. What sense does that make? All right. If I gave you an order, right, I'm just going to say something just stupid and crazy, right? If I gave you an order to go jump in that damn water and fight that alligator, but you know what? It's a big argument on social media about 100 niggas fighting one gorilla. I don't know why. I don't know where that shit came from on the internet, right? But the internet is just not a real place. It is not a real place at all. But if I gave you an order to go fight a damn gorilla, I would go do it too. Now I'll be right there, right next to you. But I won't give you an order to the point where I won't follow it. If I give you an order, I'm going to follow it with you. All right. And love is, love with brotherhood is simply just having what's the word what's the word like when it comes to brotherhood, like you really have to think about the other person in a sense of them, like really having that type of care for them. All right. Like, for example, not like everybody outside of these walls, I still love them. All right. Like there are brothers and sisters who believe that they are a Christian, they are into Muslim, they do X, Y, and Z, but I still have love for them. And I will still treat them with the utmost of respect, because that's what the Bible says as well.
That's right. To
care for those brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Now, and you got to be careful, because there are some people who say that they love their people, but they completely hate them. Now, pastors and Christians, the way that they treat homeless people is absolutely insane to me. I seen it with my own eyes of a pastor telling this homeless man, like, get your filthy hands off of me. But I thought you was just an hour ago, you was just preaching about how we should love each other. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know what I mean? Imagine that if that homeless man had more money than you, and you were in his shoes. I mean, man, you would be begging for mercy. All right. So I'm gonna drop that real quick. Let me see. Can we go ahead? You got a question?
No, I was going to add on to that because
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been studying economics, like from civilizations to civilization. And
Yeah.
of course, we have like a constitution, you know, the Levitical like foundation of how we should not only love one another, but how we should treat one another. And I think one of the things is we need to make sure that we have everything sufficient for one another, right?
Right.
You got to make sure like your household is in check, like everything. Basically, what Christ was saying was, you know, have your doors open, have your pantry open for when your neighbor knocks, they may be hungry. Feed them, right. If your door is closed to your neighbor and they're hungry, you know, that's where like temptation and sin starts playing at the door, right? And so what Christ was going around, and this kind of goes with the economy thing, is to lend, like to lend and continue to lend to make sure that your brother is like has everything sufficient, because you never know when that person may turn around. Something they may be able to sustain themselves and may be able to then help for another person, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because I mean that's pretty much as I was saying before. I mean that structure, that guidance, that moral compass is, and I mean, like, once again, in the very first 5 books of Moses, you have that intro. Okay, you got Genesis, which is the introduction to all of that, right? So how everything was created and civilization, how it was started and created, and then we get into, you know, the structure of rank and order. When you get into Deuteronomy and Exodus, and we just see how all the laws come into place, because the word Levitical simply just means it's about the law. All right. And of course, in order to be a civilized people, we have to have some type of structure. We have to have some type of foundation. And that's going to be the law, statutes, and commandments. And because we have those things, that's what allow us to have what is called brotherhood and sisterhood. Because if we don't have that to stand on, then we have nothing.
Right.
Because of the law, statutes, and commandments, it allows us to know how to deal with one another in every single way possible. The purpose of the laws is to put things in place. That's why there are laws everywhere that you go. There's no place that you can go where there's no rules. There are rules to any and everything in life. And if you don't follow those rules, that's when things get out of order. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you said that, because I mean that brings it back full circle, right? So let's get back to John 15 and 13 just one more time.
John 15 and 13.
You got it. Yep.
Greater love hath no man than this.
So greater love hath no man than this. Keep going.
That a man lay down his life for his friends.
Now, also too, what is a friend? I want to get into that before we break that second part down. What is a friend? And make sure that we raise our hand, Bob Kashah. What is a friend?
I guess that's interpretation. Like, so
Yeah,
you got
to go ahead.
But I guess that's an interpretation to that individual. You may have common interests. You may meet this person here or there and have a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so you may have agreements, right?
Okay.
So, test of time and adversities can make a friend, right?
I like that answer. So a friend is someone that you go through the fire with. You know what I mean? Someone that you esteem, so to speak. You know what I mean? A friend is not just someone that you just have a conversation with. Y'all been knowing each other since y'all was 12 or children, coming out the womb. Like a friend is someone, like the Bible says, that you have to prove someone to be a friend. You can't just call anybody your friend, because once things hit the fan, they might be down the street, and you are there just to defend yourself in that battle alone. You know what I mean? So a friend is someone that you got to prove the loyalty. Y'all went through something, and y'all stuck with each other the entire time. That's a friend. Someone that proves the loyalty and of one another. And that's truly your neighbor. You got to be careful of who you call your friends. All right, because some people are just opportunists, and once things get hard, they are nowhere to be found. All right, so when it says, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Now, laying your life down for your friends doesn't always mean something physical. A lot of people may think like, oh, okay, you gotta literally die for this person. I mean, that could be the case, and that's definitely a friend. Someone who jumps in front of that knife, or that sword, that bullet, that card, to protect you, whatever the case may be. But also too, a friend can be like, okay, as men, how can I say it? Because men are supposed to be soldiers. Men are soldiers, right? But laying your life down for a friend can also too just setting aside how you feel and how you think, and simply having the practicality of a situation. I mean, like is that understandable by chance? Like, am I making sense to anybody when I say that? You know what I mean? Anybody?
No.
So like, once again, like, I'm trying to give it to y'all without trying to give it to y'all per se. But long story short, a friend is somebody that you have to prove. Someone who's loyal, someone who has your back. You know what I mean? But laying your life down doesn't always mean that it has to end with you losing your life. It's you being, instead of a stumbling block, being a helper to them.
Right.
Being someone who's there in their corner when times get hard. You know what I mean? Someone that you can lean on. And actually, I want to grab a precept. Let me see. Damn, I wish we had a little bit more time. Let me see. I'm gonna give you a great example of what a friend is and what a brother is. All right. Can I get Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9? All right. If anybody got it, just let me know. Just raise your hand and I'll call on you. And also, too, just a quick precept. Nobody has to grab this. But John chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And that's something else that, came out of the, it's the words of the Most High. And what true love is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So when you think about brotherhood, that's it. That's the commandments. Because the laws tell you how to deal with your brother, and that you have to love them like yourself. All right, go ahead. Anybody that got it?
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Two are better than one.
Two are what?
Two are better than one.
Let's see exactly what that's speaking about. Keep going.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Right. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. So, it's cool to have one brother. Absolutely. But two are better than one brother. And here's why. It ties into brotherhood. Keep going. Verse 10.
Oh, God. Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For if they fall. For if they fall.
Uh-huh.
The one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth.
Right, so I'm stopping right there. So it says, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. So the reason why two is better than one is because when you're by yourself, and you are going through that depression, you're going through that loss, you're going through hell. It's what we like to call it. You know what I mean? You have somebody that's right next to you. It's a lot better because when you by yourself, it's a lot easier for Satan to attack you, them demons to overtake you. And of course, ultimately, a lot of times when you're fighting by yourself, you may just be subdued, meaning that you're going to be conquered. You might lose that fight. All right. But when you have someone right next to you, you have somebody to throw jabs at that thing that's attacking. You have somebody to help you fight whatever is fighting you. All right. Keep going on that. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, I broke that down. Yeah, go ahead. For he has not.
For he hath not another to help him up.
Right. So that person that doesn't have someone to help him is going to fall in whatever, whatever that thing that is trying to destroy him. All right. That's why I always tell brothers all the time. If I don't hear from a brother or a sister, if I don't see them in class for a while, if I don't hear them on the phone, like a phone call or anything like that, I tend to, do a wellness check. I check up on that brother or sister just to see what's going on. Hey says, how you doing? Are you all right? I haven't heard from you in a while. Just to make sure that, whatever they need, I am at their service. I mean, that's the type of love that you got to have where when you are not around the brothers and sisters all the time, every day, you still have them in the back of your head just to see if they are okay. That's the type of love you got to have just to make sure if they need anything that you are there at their service. Because, I mean, although, we are serving the Lord, we are all on the same mission to raise up our nation, we still got our own lives. Some of us got, school, 2-3 jobs, children, wives, you know what I mean? So it can be a lot. But at the same time, we still got to make sure that we are there for one another. All right? We always should check up on each other. That's why the Bible says to labor amongst those. Know the men that you labor amongst. All right, go ahead. You had a question?
Well, I was going to add on to it.
Go ahead, you got it.
For the example, it's like if you look at like the curses that brought upon our nation, we serve the nations, and the nations give us our clothes, our food, and there's no real love behind it, right? So you go to the nations, or you go to your people, and this idea of supporting Black businesses. But once you have that dollar or just that economic force behind you, you can then you start seeing your culture, your people.
All right, that's what sure. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. All right, that's what real quick. Well, I'm sorry. Just say it one more time, but a little louder for me. My apologies, brother.
But you get once we, I guess, once we start working together to, I guess, if we're working on a farm,
Right.
It's two, 3 working as a team in unity.
Right.
We can reap the rewards together and then have that advantage versus how we are not. We're kind of at war with each other, and then we're at war with the nations at the same time. And then there's this kind of blanket, almost the law itself that of the other nations that's keeping us friendly, but not in unity.
Right. So I like the way you said that, because in a nutshell, we are stronger together. It's really the point that's being made. We are stronger together when we have one another. We are weaker if we are separate from each other. That's why also too, if you was here last week, I was speaking about how Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather together, O nation, not desire. Now we have to gather together, once again, in unity and brotherhood for the mission of one thing, which is, it's kind of 2 things. We have to come together to serve the Lord. And with that mission of serving the Lord, we have to raise up our people. All right. So, like, for example, there are so-called Black Hispanic Native Indian people who don't know their true history. They think that they are Africans, that they come from Africa. They think that, that they are biracial, mulatto. They think that they are Egyptian and just all these things. They believe their purpose is to sell drugs. They believe that their purpose is to be in a strip club and swing on poles. You know what I mean? To be the biggest, baller in the streets. I don't know. But I mean, last time I checked, the scriptures tell us who we are and who we should be as a people. And what we see outside of these walls is not it. And it's proof because of how it ends. All right? It just shows all the time how it ends. Our life is not supposed to be with us and ending up in prison, ending up in a box behind beef with another brother or sister, with us fighting each other, with us hating one another. You know what I mean? That's not our life. And that all those things are a distraction. It's what a lot of people don't see. That's why we are not evolving as a people. We are still stuck in this captivity. All right. If we can kill off that old man, which also too, what's killing off that old man, meaning that old person, that's how you become a friend that's how you die for your friend. If you can no longer be that person who used to hate your own people, who used to sell drugs to your own people, then you can't be a friend to anybody. You can't gain a friend. But if you decide to cast off that old man, that old woman, then you can now be a friend or have friends. You can love thy brother as thyself. Okay? If you want nobody to sell drugs to your mama, to your brother or sister, where they are on their way to ODing any moment, any day, then why would you do that to someone else? It's always a dumbass argument. Well, they are going to, get the drugs to somebody else. I might as well just give it to them. It's going to be more safe, more better. But that's not an argument. That's ignorance. That's absolutely stupidity. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So I guess you can kill them better is what you're saying. Instead of somebody else selling them the poison, you can sell it to them instead. There's no difference. At the end of the day, the result is going to be the same. Destruction. That's all, and that's it. All right. So I do want to add one more thing to this. Something that you had said. Let me see here. Oh, so I'm gonna talk about this scripture next week as well, because I do want to do a part 2, because I really wanted to read the entire chapter, damn near of 1 Thessalonians, but I'm just gonna grab one part. Right. So this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 12. Right. And it reads, "And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you." So I'm gonna backtrack and slow it down, right? When it says, "and we beseech you," it's like saying, I beg of you, I plead with you, right, brethren? And this is Paul, by the way, okay, in the book of 1 Thessalonians, all right? "To know them which labor amongst you." So our job is to know the people that you're going to war with. You know what I mean? How can I call you my brother or my sister if I truly don't know who you are? You know what I mean? To know a brother or sister is far more deeper than just a conversation. It's far more deeper than, just seeing you around. You know what I mean? Like to truly get to know a brother or a sister, you got to know, how to be around this person. Now, not every brother or sister is going to receive you, the same way or deal with you the same exact way. There may be some things that may be funny to this brother or this sister that's not funny to the other. This brother may not do well under pressure when it comes to this or comes to that. So you got to know that brother or sister well enough how to deal with them properly or accordingly. You can't deal with everybody the same. And that's very evident. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you are a parent and you have a child or children, or I'll say children for this matter, that boy child and girl child is y'all relationship to the parent is not going to always be the same. it's going to completely be different. Let's say you have all boys. You may have to be a lot more harsh and tougher on one child versus the other boy child. You know what I mean? And that's life. That's life with everything. All right. And so I say all that to say, you know what I mean, you have to know the people that you are dealing with. All right. And if it's someone that you are going to war with, get to know this person. You might got to get in their business a little bit. You know what I mean? In a sense of, just creating that bond. I believe it's called unit cohesion, which is another word of saying unity, having that bond with one another. All right. And it's very helpful to know. It's very helpful to know a brother or a sister, not business per se, but to know how they are and how they deal with certain things. So that way, if a situation ever comes up, you know how to help them. There are some brothers and sisters who still struggle at the sight or at the smell of weed. You know what I mean? It becomes like a trigger. Some people have a problem with seeing promiscuous women because all their life, that's all they known and dealt with. Some people may have struggles with alcohol. Some people may have struggles with hearing certain type of music or just certain environments. And it's good to know that, brother, to the point where you can help them fight that. Because, there might be a brother who's dealing with the same thing as you, which is the beauty of it. Once again, two are better than one. And that brother might be more seasoned to help you fight that demon that you're going through. Yeah. And we see it all the time.
I left.
So you want to always raise your hand if you want to talk. You got to go ahead.
When I left California and came to Minnesota, I went to go meet up with some of my friends that were leaning Christian, but they were out of the church, but they didn't really join any camps or really didn't subscribe to any camp.
Right.
Doctrine.
Yeah, doctrine. Yeah, right.
So when I came up to the spot, I was about to go to Georgia in a few days, but I took the time to babysit the kids because they family to me.
Right.
And short of the story, we went to a Chinese restaurant, and when we got to this Chinese, he was telling me in the car, this we go to this Chinese restaurant all the time. It's bomb. Get there, big old statue of Buddha right in the center of the restaurant. Right. And I'm sure. I'm thinking like, what?
Yeah. Sure.
You already broke the law, so going to the Chinese restaurant, we sit down.
Well, I wouldn't say that per se. As far as I wouldn't say no one broke the law for being in there. If there's a big Buddha.
Not yet. Not for just being in there.
Right. Okay. All right.
But when we sat down,
I'm listening.
And then when we ate, that's when the law was being broken.
Okay.
Now
how so?
We were eating food that was sacrificed unto another nation's god.
Okay.
Right. So I sat down and I thought to myself, like, this is where we generate the problem, right? Mm-hmm. So of course, most idols aren't you don't see Buddha statues right in front of our faces. Mm-hmm. It's usually covered under doors and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And but it let me know there was really no safe place for an Israelite to just go into another, come into my home or let's go out to this restaurant. I promise you this guy is not sacrificing his food to an idol.
So, okay, so if I may, when you said that the food was sacrificed to this idol, like was anybody thanking the statue?
I wouldn't say people were thanking. I wouldn't say it's almost like you know the story of Velvet Dragon.
Of course, right.
Where they
right
put the food. Basically, they put the food to the dragon, but the people come around the statue when the king is in there or whoever who left the food, and they start eating. Right. It's kind of like that same scenario because of course the statue's not eating anything. It's the people's. So it's almost like we're giving reverence to the idol because the people that are making the food is giving reverence to the idol. And so
Okay.
we're consuming something that was meant, we're basically generating the dollar for this idol for whatever intentions these other people may have or may not have against us, right? I mean, that's how I see, like, if Israel was to fall, that's how I would do it. I mean, that's how the nations would do it. They would come in economically, bring in their statues. You don't really have to know anything about their statues, or their idol, but the fact that you're sitting here eating among it, that this effort is we're going to extract your resources and use this dollar and put it to my nation.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, okay. So I do hear what you're saying, but this is where I'll have to disagree as far as that. And the reason why I have to disagree with that because, I mean, a lot of people go into different, many establishments, and there are, statues, that we recognize as idols and stuff like that. People eat the food, but it's not necessarily in worship of it unless they are actually doing sacrifices for it or praying to that God. That's one thing. But now there are many people too who are very ignorant to the fact of what me and you know, right? They are very clueless, have no idea of them just like ain't no wrong. Ain't no saying that Chinese food unless it goes against the dietary laws, which is
China is just a nation. Right? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
China's a nation, but the Buddha statue is something completely different.
Yeah. Now, of course, that is their idol, but it's one thing if you're praying to it, if you're making sacrifices to it. That's one thing. But I mean, if you just eating there, I mean, if you simply just sit down eating the Chinese food and there's a big ass Buddha statue or whatever like that, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily in sin unless they are praying or worshiping that damn thing. Or also to the food is unlawful. Because as Chinese people eat all types of things that goes against the dietary laws, as we know. So but I mean, yeah, we can definitely talk a little bit more about that. Though. I do understand where you're coming from. I do understand what you mean. But I would just say that if they are praying to it, if they have unlawful food and that type of spirit, then yes, they are definitely in sin. But just sitting there being there, because I mean, how many times do we go into a establishment? You got people who have a cross on or have white Jesus in the area or something like that. Yeah. Like I mean, hey, but I get what you're saying now. But yeah, I mean, did you want to say more on that?
For me,
go ahead.
Anytime I see an idol, whether it be cross or nothing, to me it's better for you go into a grocery store, prepare the food yourself. Because if I do see an idol, even if it's it doesn't matter what the idol is, because it's that intention of where that dollar is. When you hand it over to that person, they're going to generate it to their people and the people group that kind of generate with that idol. Mm-hmm. So there may not be a prayer among the people in the Chinese restaurant. They may not be incense burning. But when we talk about the economic warfare that America's going through, or not even like Trinidad. You go to Trinidad, there's a big old statue of Ganesh out there, right? But not everybody's going out to worship Ganesh. Yeah. But one of the biggest issues that the Trinidadians and the Jamaicans have to deal with is all these nations coming to them and opening up their shops. Yeah. And typically, when you see an idol, to me, it's like seeing an airport. It's like that access or that safe haven for these other nations to come to conduct their business. and then they can go out and start opening shops
Yeah.
in your neighborhood and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So just like when I see like a church,
Right.
you may not go inside the church, but most people come out of those churches.
Right. Okay.
Right? And so for us,
Uh-huh.
we have to have our own kind of positions. So because when we leave out of here, we start conducting business in order to create safe havens for more Israelites.
Right. I got you.
So basically,
Yeah.
not have them, be eating food sacrificed unto other idols.
Okay. No, I got you. And damn, it was something else I was going to ask you, but no, again, I do understand that. I mean, you do understand that you can do business with other nations, right?
Yeah, you can definitely do business with other nations, but there's definitely ways to go about it.
Of course, and actually, I'm glad you said that. You're right. There's ways to go about that because in the Bible, many men, Israelite men, did business with other nations, all the way from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Well, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament all shows how we did business with other nations. Now, also too, it's okay. Heathens and Hebrews are neck to neck, meaning that they're always around each other. It's been like that since the beginning of time. No matter where you go in the world, you are always going to see a people that are not your people. We are always going to be amongst them, right? Because we are scattered. As far as the Israelites, we are scattered. We are all over the place. And in most places, you are going to have a nation of people that's not your people, and you are going to be among them. You know what I mean? But there's a spirit, based on what you're saying, there's a spirit behind everything that you do. But I would say if you are in the Chinese spot, and of course the Chinese spot is going to have their idols. So why not? Because that's who they serve, that's who they represent. Right. Just like us, right? Like, of course, we don't allow heathens into our space, okay, so to speak, right? But let's say if they were to come into one of our spaces, all they're going to see is the representation of our God, which is the Most High Yahweh, right? But I mean, to them, they're not in sin because they can't serve our God. They can't keep our law, statutes, and commandments. No way. And vice versa when it comes to them. So you are just there to eat food, nothing else, unless you actually are trying to serve their culture, their God. You know what I mean? Go ahead. You want to say something?
Think of it this way.
Uh-huh.
When you go into a restaurant, well, not even a restaurant. Let's go prior to the restaurant. Because most of them all go to the one Chinese spot that holds the bag of rice, the bag of oils, all that, right? And those were, some may be atheists, but a lot of those people had one unison under their God, right?
Right.
And when they even open up their doors, their God is there. So how they serve their God is not exactly how Hollywood interprets it. When God says, the Most High says, we will go into Babylon, or we will go into to be scattered,
right.
to serve their idols, and serve the gods.
Yeah.
There's no idols out there in the fields, nor are there idols. Most times when they're driving, most people don't see the idols when they drive up and down the street. But the moment when we get our check and we put that check into another nation's hands, we just serve it, right? And what happens
hold on 1 second. I just want to ask you. So you said, I just want to make sure I heard you clearly.
Okay.
You said when we get that check.
When we get the check from.
Okay, go ahead.
When we get the check from, let's say we work at
a job in
Depot,
general.
Yeah, job.
Okay.
And then we give it to the Chinese restaurant for one day, for the 1 hour that we was there. That serving that we did at Home Depot is now fractioned off into
another nation's hands.
Another nation's hands.
Okay.
So,
listen.
And we don't really have, so we don't have a storehouse
Right.
for
Okay.
our tithes and offering, for
Okay.
our bag of rice, our vats of oil.
Uh-huh.
And so basically,
Well, okay.
you know,
Okay. I think.
so that's
go
where
ahead, go ahead.
that's where the other nations kind of
Right.
have the advantage over us, because now we're serving them.
Right.
Our house is clean, right?
Well, okay. Well, if I could just stop you real quick, right? I think I know exactly what you're saying now, but you do realize that we are in captivity, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the Bible does explain how what exactly everything that you just explained, as far as how we get a check, and our check goes in the hands of other nations. The Bible clearly says that, as far as the curses of how we will serve them. I mean, now the thing is, I mean, it will change. It will absolutely change. But now I do want to ask you a second question, right? Are you saying because we get this check and we go into their establishments to, as far as food, appliances, whatever, right? For everyday necessities. Are you saying that we are worshiping their gods because of that?
We're not directly worshiping their gods. We're doing it
in some way.
Direct way where, we are serving their idols. Because obviously we're not serving the Most High if we were to. Well, we're under captivity,
right,
serving other people's idols, their gods. So there really isn't a way, I guess, a logical way to kind of get out of that scenario, unless you go back into establishing what the Most High had the prophets in Moses establish for us, which was our own laws, our own commandments, and then, of course, what comes with that is being able to establish your own nation, your own fields, your own vineyards, your own oil, or orchards, and all that stuff. And so that would be the only way to get out of your captivity. But at this moment,
so the only way to get out of the captivity is, instead of putting money in their pocket, we should put money in our own pockets.
Well, I think the best way to get out of our captivities would be, first, is to invest in education, because right now education is going to take the biggest cut. I mean, Donald Trump, he cut education, the Department of Education, but that's minuscule. What is happening is technology is going to definitely make people dumber. And what we should do is take advantage of this moment and start having doctors. There's already black doctors.
Right.
What we should have is now establish those schools. So even just not even doctors, I think if you're able to just design clothes and stuff like that, that would be the best way to get out of captivity, is to educate as many people as possible. I agree with some of the things that you said. So in a nutshell, I'm just gonna bring it all together full circle, right? So everything that you're saying, like it sounds like we should pretty much build our own everything, to where we have our own army, we have our own system that's operated and ran by us and us alone, right? To where we don't have to lean on to the other nations. So just a simple yes or no. That's pretty much what you're getting at, right? I guess yes.
Okay.
Because when Moses left Egypt,
right,
they still struggled.
Of course.
Right. So, and of course, they didn't have to struggle as hard, but they still struggled. So they didn't have the houses, and they were running around just like their ancestors, kind of like nomads.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but they were, Genghis Khan, or Chinggis Khan, however you want to pronounce it.
Right.
He was a very wealthy man, and he was a nomad.
Right.
So there is an economic play that that we can do as a people. Now, I guess the only way to go to get to that point is get education to our people.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. And then but hold on, let me see something real quick. Based on what you just said, I do want to reiterate on the topic as well. Now, also, so I did have another question for you. Like, you're not saying, right? You're not saying that. Let me see here. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna read this for you real quick, right?
I feel like I've been talking.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. No, I'm glad that you have some type of input, or like this is what should be talked about in a sense of like questions and getting answers and conversation, because it's not going to happen in a Christian church. If you was there speaking to Pastor Porkchop, he would not answer any of your questions. There would not be any dialogue whatsoever. So I want to read this real quick, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 25. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 25. And it reads, "Whatsoever is sold in the shambles that eats, asking no question for conscience sake." So let me see something. So the purpose of me bringing this out, right, is to let you know, like, okay, once again, we are in captivity, right? So everything that you said as far as what we need, as far as our people, absolutely 100%, I agree. But in the meantime, I mean, hey, we are in captivity. The ISUPK is this sanctuary that's getting us back to that, to where we have our own everything. All right. Like once again, I did mention that no heathens are allowed in here, but Israelites only. So that's one thing out of many. Also, too, we have our economic system floating in the ISUPK. All right. But also, too, at the same time, though, you got to think about it. You are in captivity. Nothing hasn't changed. No matter who has been at the top or the bottom, we always buy from each other. But we still, everybody still buys and sells from each other. I'll get that in a second. But everybody buys and sells from each other, and spend a little money here and there. But we can still, have money to the side for our people. That's always going to be the case. You know what I mean? But I do want to read on just real quick, and if you have something else, we can get to it. Let me see. Yeah, let me see something real quick. Where the hell was I? Also too, it says, verse 26, "For the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof," right? Verse 27, "If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, this is offered and sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake." So at the end of the day, I get what you're saying as far as the whole concept of Buddha being there, them eating. It's like subconsciously sacrificing to their God, although that they may not be aware of it. If that is the case, just to let you know, it's not a sin unless they truly are worshiping or showing that they are sacrificing unto this thing. First things first, we have to know what does the word sacrifice mean by definition. And we have to look into what we have saw in the scriptures to show what sacrificing looks like to another idol. But just because you're going to an establishment and you're spending $1 in someone else's establishment, and we see these idols here, doesn't mean that you're per se sacrificing unto their gods. You know what I mean? We want to be careful. But once again, for conscience sake, if that's something that you want to do, you can. But if you don't, that's fine as well. Either way, it's still not a problem. It's not an issue when it comes to the Most High, unless you are truly sacrificing to their culture and their way of life. Because everybody per se spends money at someone else's, establishment, even you. Right. Would you agree? Okay. Do you go out to eat? Do you buy toiletries, necessities for your house?
Like toilet paper, but and whatnot. I go to the normal grocery store like Whole Foods or something like that.
Right.
But overall, no, I don't really go out to like to a Chinese restaurant or I don't do that anymore.
East Indian or a restaurant or anything like
I'm
that.
West Indian, so I would have done that already.
Right. But now the thing is this though, right? If it helps your conscience, you don't have to do it. But even if you did, it's still fine because you're not sacrificing nothing to the other gods.
I guess the question. So when Israel had idols, when they were sacrificing to idols, that was a sin, right?
Yes, them. Okay, well, okay. We have to think about which idols, but in overall in general, us sacrificing animals for other people's gods or following the tradition of that god as well. Like for example, right? I'll make it plain and simple. If you smoke weed, you are honoring the god of Shiva, which is the god of the nation of the Indians. Now, which Indians? The East Indians, the ones in India, the ones with the red dot in their forehead. If you call yourself a thug and you're robbing and stealing, that's in the worship of their god Shiva, because that's part of their culture. If you rock dreads come from the nation of the Indians, the East Indians. All right, because of this, right? Dreads is dead hair, that's matted hair. And in order to worship their god, they will smoke weed and worship of their god, and they will not clean themselves for 7 years, meaning that they won't groom themselves, they won't take a bath or bathe for 7 years in the worship of their god. Now, a lot of people think that dreadlocks come from Rastafarians, which is not true. The people that call themselves Rastafarians are Israelite people who adopted that were right in captivity underneath the East Indians. All outside, okay, so every Black, Hispanic, Native Indian person, or not person, but the nation of Israel, who is made up of Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, have been under captivity under the white people, which is now, and beforehand, the Arabs, the East Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, and Africans as well. We have been in captivity underneath them and learned their culture. So if that's what you're doing, you are in worship of them. I'll give you something else. If you're eating bats, alligator, pig, and all the things that are abominations to the Lord, that is also in worship of another nation of people. But once again, if you're in a Chinese spot and you're not rocking their culture, you're not associating with the culture at all, but you're eating Chinese food, so you're eating chicken because it says it's chicken. You know what I mean? Compound chicken, orange chicken, teriyaki chicken, whatever, right? You are not in sin at all. You are not in worship of them whatsoever. Now, the environment is of their culture. I understand that. But if me and you walk into that joint right now and we grab some regular and lawful food, we ain't sinning against our God at all. But however, if we're doing anything partaking in their culture, then yes, we are in sin.
So
go ahead.
So going back, my first question was when the Israelites were sacrificing unto idols.
Right, at one point, yes.
Said, that was a sin.
Yeah.
So what if when these other nations came into Israel and they had their idols inside their homes, is that also sin?
So are you saying is it
I'm
sin?
saying, is it sin to have the idol inside the inside of the nation of Israel, allowing the nations to bring their idols?
Okay, that's a very good question, right? Now, okay, with that question, I have to ask you a question. You have to show me anywhere in the Bible, or just in the Bible, or realistically, where there is a people who are not God's chosen people that did not serve their own gods and culture amongst the Israelites. Because once again, even back then, with all the prophets and priests in the Bible, we were always amongst other nations of people but still served the Most High. But we didn't serve their gods. Of course, they had their gods. Like, for example, right? We was in Egypt, was we not? So we was in Egypt, and the Egyptian gods. I mean, with Pharaoh, yeah. I mean, we had Israel there. We was in captivity, but of course, because we was in captivity later on, we got delivered by the Most High because we followed and obeyed Him instead of obeying their gods. That's why we left Egypt in the first place. You heard about Passover, right? Passover is the reason why we left Egypt, because of Moses. We listened to most people a crazy nigga like Moses, who's saying, "Hey, God said to put the sacrifice this animal, right, this lamb, and put the blood on the doorpost, and do this and do X, Y, and Z, and stay inside. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. But if you do this, this is what will happen to our enemies, and we are going to be delivered, right?" But at the end of the day, in every captivity, we have always been amongst a people who have their gods in their homes, broadcasted everywhere. To this very day in America, right?
Mhm.
In America today. Like, you know that you're an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. But we serve the Lord. But this America is reigning. We are still in captivity. This place, their God is Caesar Borgia, white Jesus. Are we in sin? We are only in sin if we serve that God. If we take on that. Go ahead.
We're forced to serve them. We're in captivity.
At one point in time, yeah. But now,
to this day, there's definitely Israelites that have to go to work to serve those idols, because
you said serve who?
To serve these other nations,
right,
who have idols, right, to other gods. Because I mean, like, what is Versace? I guess not many people realize that a lot of the concepts of these gods,
right,
or not a lot of the concepts of even a logo, right, belongs to another god.
I know that. Yeah, I'm very much aware of that. Yeah.
Like Medusa, that's all Greek, right? So but not many people are registering that. They'll take on that custom, right? So that happens in many ways, where you could put $1 in a store and put on a shirt, and they're pertaining to somebody else's culture, and that culture goes back into the gods. So
I mean, if that's the case, then I guess we're all serving everybody else's god. Then
we're in captivity. Yeah, so
I guess me and you are serving somebody else that's not the Most High. That's what it sounds like.
I guess when it's said in that, like, when you go back to the curses, the other nations will be the ones that will clothe, feed, and so on and so forth, right? Okay. So, I was talking to a manufacturer of Israeli clothing. They put fringes and the border of blue on it. Right. But they buy the clothes from the Chinese. Right. Okay. Right. So, and the Chinese are getting it from a different, like, if you see how that dollar gets squeezed, somewhere at the end of this dollar, somebody's got to go into slavery, right? Right. And that's how I see the nations kind of generate this whole wealth, that they squeeze that. Right. There's somewhere along the way there's an island, and someone's in slavery due to it, right? Yeah. Go ahead. But I was gonna say, if you could land your plane. Yeah, you got it. Go ahead. No, you good. I was just because it was kind of a lot to wrap around. Like, even when you talk about judges, so Deborah kind of documented how these other nations came into Israel, or not even came into, they stayed in the locations of Israel. Like, what we see Israel doing now is what their last attempt of what we were probably how we were acting after all the sin. We were thinking, okay, maybe if we start getting rid of the Christian church that we allowed to be built here in like the early 2000s, maybe we get, because I seen the Jews, they pushing the white Jesus statue down too.
Are you talking about Israel, the place?
The Jews, you know, with the J, it was the fake ones, right?
You talking about the Jewish?
The Jewish.
Yeah. Jewish are fake Jews.
Yeah, right.
Jews are Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. But
Right,
yeah.
right.
Okay, so you saying that to say what though?
No, I'm saying that they're knocking down the idols, but of course, at one point, I mean, the Christian church and the Catholic churches, they were putting huge amount of money to line the pockets of the fake Jews in, right?
Right, yeah.
And now they're registering all these scriptures. They're obviously interpreting them wrong. But of course, in panic, they're trying to get rid of some of these idols. So get rid of this Jews. Anyway, this Jesus statue. But anyways, to go back to what Deborah was documenting, Deborah was seeing the nations, these nations basically get their ass kicked or get eaten by lions.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said Deborah. Who's Deborah?
Deborah.
You talking about in the Bible, the sister, right?
Yeah, the sister in Judges.
Right, that's right.
Witnessing Israel, these other nations now having Israel form itself, establish itself as a nation, and they are the superpower in that region.
Right, okay.
And they go to them and say, hey, these lions are eating us or killing us.
Yeah.
How do we worship your God?
Okay.
And the priest taught them how to worship their God.
Mm-hmm.
What they were supposed to do prior to that was they were supposed to drive them out. They shouldn't have been there in the first place, but they left them there.
Right. I understand.
They came to them and said, hey, the lions are taking us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we worship the God? They taught them, the priest taught them how to worship the God. What they did was take those concepts, create their own Semitic God. Like if you look at the Semitic regions,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
like we made extra gods on top of like the Babylonians, or they made extra gods on top of the Babylonians, and now you have Israel, and you have these other nations among you having idols.
Okay, so all right, so I want to help you out, right? So I get what you're saying, but you're kind of jumping around to many different things. I just want you to try to get to the main point of everything as far as the idols, because I mean I'm hearing a lot of different things, and one thing I do want to say for sure is that of course in the kingdom once Christ returns, and Black and Hispanics or Israel as a whole is the one that's ruling this entire earth. There's not going to be any more idols of the other nations, and the Bible does say that. But right now, however, because we are in captivity, that's going to be like that. It's always been like that, right. and that's not something that has ever changed. The only time it's going to change is when we decide to rule the earth.
Yeah.
Once we are in the placement in the seats of these other nations, once they get kicked out, and they are slaves under us, under our captivity.
I'll agree with that.
What I mean? So that's how that's going to go. But in the meantime, though, again, if you are not, sacrificing to these other gods, celebrating their culture, you are not in sin. If you're not breaking the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible, you are not in sin. All right. And that's really all there is for now. However, when they are in captivity under us and they disobey our orders, what's going to happen is that they are going to lose their life. And that's going to be justified, because that's also in the Bible as well. But I will have to get that for you either tomorrow or next week.
Right.
All right. So so we do have a class tomorrow, same time, 7 to 9. So we can definitely dialogue about that a little bit more. But I think this was a great conversation. Now, if you come up with something else to talk about, just bring it tomorrow if you are available. So with that, I got to end the class. We got to get into some announcements. one prayer, and then we out of here. All right. So Imagine, which means to stand in Hebrew. Get into the announcements. Let's see here. So I was gonna say you can stand as well. So security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves in the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. So what this is speaking about is you being a brother, right? For example, when you see a sister that's not married, that's not tied to any man, and you find an interest in that sister, the only thing that really should be said is shalom, how you doing, sister, and that's really it. Now, if one or the other finds a likeness into each other, you have to speak to the camp leader of Minnesota. So, Officer Salaki, priest and Officer Kodash Dayan, is the first in command of Minnesota. He runs this, and I'm his second in command. All right. So you have to speak to him. Let me see. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. If this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. So we have a court system. So if you both if you both decide to court each other, courting is simply getting to know each other before you do anything, intimate, so to speak, right? So it's like a 1 year rule where, for 6 months, you guys start to court each other, things go well. Y'all fall through another 6 months, and then boom, y'all get married, y'all husband and wife with each other, because sex is marriage, by the way. It's not a piece of paper. That's someone else's culture. It's not Israelite culture whatsoever. That's another topic if you want to get into that as well. So with that being said, let me see. Tithes, which is a commandment, right? You can find that in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10. Now, the thing is about tithes is for the purpose of helping brothers and sisters in need. Tithes is not for one man and things of that sort. In a Christian church, if you give any money to the pastor or the preacher, they are going to pocket your money and you will never see it again. When you give the tithes and the ISUPK, you are going to see the money and your rent being paid, shoes on your feet, clothes on your back, and you getting gas in your car and food in your pantry. That's where you're going to see the tithes, all right? Because tithes is for the support of the nation. It's not for you to live off of, it's like tithes is not for you to be greedy and stealing from the nation of people, from the congregation. It's for the purpose of supporting the nation. All right. Let me see. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you means 10th in the Hebrew, my Ashura. Give, priest fund. Free will offer for priests, not mandatory. So if you see a brother up here who's teaching, as a brother or sister who's sitting in the seats, if you feel like, hey, this brother's doing a great job of what he's doing as far as the work of the Lord, it's very optional. It's never mandatory. You can always do a donation or what's called a priest fund. If you look at a brother, like for example, a lot of the prophets and priests in the Bible were given priest funds. Like for example, because a lot of the brothers and sisters, a lot of the brothers like Elijah, Moses, Ezekiel, Aaron, Joshua, Christ, these brothers didn't have homes. They were walking, going place to place on foot, on horses, donkeys and things of that sort, teaching the truth. So they didn't have homes. But however, the people would feed them, would give them money, would take care of them. All right. And there's many scriptures about that as well. And we get into that another time, as well. Upcoming holy convocations, right? So a holy convocation or a high holy day is a feast or a memorial, which you will find in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, which are the Most High's days that we represent and celebrate him and our nation. All right. So you're not going to find Halloween, your birthday, Christmas, Easter, none of that in the Bible, because that's not in worship of the Most High, or it doesn't represent the nation of Israel. That represents man, which, once again, we do everything when it comes to serving the Most High. We don't serve man as far as his holidays and things of that sort. So those things are a sin. But the 9 high holy days and convocations in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, is what we celebrate in representation and recognition of our God and of our people. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. So with that being said, with this one prayer, which is called the Lord's Prayer, everybody does have to stand up, and we have to face the east. And so I'm going to read it in Hebrew. You can repeat it the best way that you can, and then we're going to translate it into the English. All right? So this is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawi, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Asha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathananahu, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalakanahu, Kamawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kamawakanawa, Mala'a, Taba'anahu, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Awalamyam Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and glory forever, so be it. Amen. All right, so with that being said, Sar, which means turn in Hebrew, we are going to salute each other, and I'll explain after the class what the salute is all about, all right?
Okay.
So what I want you to do, imagine means stand. So you put your feet together and your hands to your side, and then when I say imagine Shabbat, so imagine Shabbat, you have your right foot step out.
Okay. Right foot step out.
Yep, so yeah. Yep, I got you. Yep, so now imagine, which stand like this. Imagine Shabbat, you want to have it up just like that, perfect. Imagine, which means to go back to rest. Barak, with your fist towards your chest.
Which one, right? Left?
You're right, yep. And also, so you can look at me as well, all right? Barak, now repeat after me. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barak,
Barak,
Athah.
Athah.
All right, so pretty much I can say right now, pretty much what I just said was Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barak Athah simply means that may the Most High Yahweh and Yahweh Shai watch and bless you. So this is a greeting and a prayer at the same time. All right. So I imagine Matah. You can just put it to the side. I'm sorry, Yazim Matah, which means to put your hand to your side, which is at rest as well. All right. So now we have a salute for the sisters. So Men Israel, Imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak, Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Athah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So this is the sisters' greeting, but it's the same thing that I just said for the men. All right. So Yazim Batah. All right, class dismissed. That's it.
It's gonna take me a while to learn that.
No, absolutely. I got you.